All right. Welcome to this rival battle report between the Sepulchral God 2.0 and the Headsmen'S Curse. Let's jump into game, and Matthias won the roll-off, but he opted for me to go first. And my first activation is to use the Warden's ability to move 2 fighters. And they no longer need to have no move tokens before that action. So I'm moving on to the objectives with 2 of the petitioners. And then he is charging up with the scriptor onto the harvester. In his first activation, 3 hexes away. Getting a crit and a hit, so I can't defend that on 1 dice. And I get then 1 wound and 1 condemned counter. So he's slowly working towards inspiring. He will inspire when having 3 condemned counters. I then charge with the harvester onto that objective. And I'm starting with hitting the scriptor of the blade, getting a success. And he gets no success in the defense there, so I'm dealing 2 damage to the scriptor. Pushing him away as to not have support against me when I'm hitting the leader there, but I failed to roll any successes there. After that activation though, Matthias scores Gather a Crowd for having 3 or more friendly fighters within 2 hexes of an enemy fighter. Then he plays Just in Case to push 1 towards a wounded or condemned enemy fighter. So he's piling on the support here. And since I am condemned there, killing me here should render him 2 glory, 1 from having assist and 1 from me being condemned. So let's see how he fares. The bearer doing the attack. 2 hammers, so 2 successes there. I need a crit here. And I fail, so he should have gotten 2 condemned here and inspired, but he only remembered to take 1 there. So he got his 2nd glory there. The glory from the kill there. And yeah, I also scored that bound in servitude for killing someone with a chain rasp. So he's leading 3-0 here. Then he plays Ethereal Immunity to get double supports as successes on his leader. And I play Inexhaustible Warriors to get +1 move for the round. And I play Restless Dead on the Harvester, placing him on an empty starting hex in my territory and giving him a raise and a charge. And I then also react with playing Startling Reformation to place him on a starting hex in enemy territory instead. And that also gives me charge tokens. I get 2 charge tokens. And I then do the Warden's action again, moving the champion and the harvester onto the objectives in enemy territory. So basically the harvester has 2 charges and a move token. It's quite the feat. Yes. Then he uses the wielder of the blade to smack the harvester in the head, getting a success. And I don't get a success. So I am bone meal there. And he gets his 4th glory. And my last activation is to bring the champion back in. He then plays Helping Hands to gain an extra support for the next attack, basically. And he then charges forth with the wielder of the blade for a high profile attack, and he also plays Hold'em Still to make a free move with another fighter that must end up adjacent to the target of the attack here. So he reacts to the charge with making a move with another fighter. So he pushes up that, or moves rather, the bear of the block. But he rolls the only thing that's not success there, so quite unlucky there. But probably saved me in the game at this point from just being crushed already here. And in the end phase I score retake what is ours, which is basically supremacy with a twist of holding at least one enemy territories. So it's a harder version of supremacy for the same amount of glory. But I'm 4-3 now, so I'm in the game. I am back in. So I actually taunted him to hit the champion there, kind of really talking about how dangerous he is, and then he charged it on to the champ, leaving the harvester alone, which was pivotal for me scoring that card. And he starts with attacking with the wielder of the blade here in the second round after having won the roll-off, but I get a crit there, really clutch, saving me in the game yet again here. And he plays Enduring Executor on the bear here. So he's also a large fighter here at this point. I then play Frightening Speed on the champion. And I play Terrifying Screams to push the scriptor closer to the harvester. And then I charge with that 5-move inspired champion onto the scriptor with 3 hammers, 2 damage and cleave. Cleave doesn't really matter though, because he's on dodge, but I get 2 successes and a crit. And since he forgot to inspire, he's still on 1 dodge there, so that's an undefendable attack, but it still would have needed 2 crits to succeed there. So, and I then score Grave Reprisal from doing so, because I killed someone with a race counter. So I am actually in the lead here from getting 2 glory from that kill. And he then plays Death to Mercy on the bearer. On the leader. And he then charges with the wielder onto the harvester with Ensnare. So the harvester and the champion is the only guys in the team that does not have shields now. And all the thing I can roll with them are shields, basically. So he gets a kill there, getting his 5th glory, and now inspired. So he does the blade-bound reaction there after killing me. So he places the scriptor in an adjacent hex to the fighter. Here we lost an activation, but I basically just raised the harvester again. He then attacks the champion with the scriptor, getting damage onto him, another condemned counter. I then do the warden's action to move the harvester and the champion back onto same objectives. No, I actually changed my mind there and move the champion over to the sharpener there. I'm not sure about my logics there, but he then plays heavy duty on the bearer, quite unnecessarily though, because he was already doing 3 damage, but yeah. So he charges the champion here. and killing him. But I score Undying Watchman from holding 2 and at least 1 being in enemy territory, so that's 2 glory for me there. But he also scores Heads will roll for gaining his 3rd or subsequent condemned counter, and now he remembered to inspire, I think. So I then do the Warden's action to place an out of action fighter back on, so I place the champion back in my starting X there. And in the end phase I score Lay Claim to It All for holding more than him. And then we roll off for the 3rd round and he wins yet again. And now he opts for me to go first. And I take the opportunity then to charge with my 5 move champion. Onto the objective there, trying to hit the sharpener of the blade over there. 3 hammers, I get no successes. But this reaction actually needs the defender to do the defense roll first. So then I can remake the attack with the necromancer commands after having done a failed attack. So now I get 2 successes. He's on 2 dodge. But he fails to roll any successes there, so the sharpener is taken out of action. And he then plays Cackling Nightmare on the scripter, which means he can do 2 attacks in the same round. I play Undying on the Harvester, I believe. He then attacks the champ and takes him out of action with 4 damage, I think. And I then play Pitiless Command to push the Harvester up to make basically an attack without having to charge. I think this was kind of unnecessary here, because my rate of survival in the next activation is pretty low, so I don't really need to push there. I should probably have saved that push card. But I get 2 damage on the wielder, which wasn't really the guy I was trying to damage, but I wanted to push him away first so that I would have an even higher profile attack on the scripter, but it didn't work out for me there. He then plays Drawn to the Kill to push a friendly fighter closer to me, basically. And he then plays Guided Blows to get a reroll on its leader. And he then rolls double crits. So yeah, no rerolls needed. And he kills the champ yet again. Yeah, and he also is able to do raise back the sharpener. And then I place the harvester back in. And he then charges with the Bearer of the Block onto the Prince of Dust, which shouldn't be inspired, actually. I have the wrong card art there because I haven't raised him. But no matter. He's dead anyway. And I believe it's my last activation here. And I place the Inspired Champ back in. And I then score Battle Without End for raising 2 in the same phase. And then it's his last activation here. But first I play -1 damage on the champ, no vitals. And then he plays Unseemly Haste to get +2 move in the next activation, but he can't reroll. So he can't benefit from that guided blows on his leader. But then he uses the scripter, and I think this was a bit of a weird decision here, to try to double hit that petitioner. I would probably just have tried to kill the champion with the leader, I guess, but yeah. And so he basically needs to succeed with both these attacks, but he just does not even succeed with any of them, actually. So kind of a waste of an activation there. So we probably made a lot of mistakes, suboptimal plays here with our first rodeo with these rival decks here. In the end phase, I score Invigorated Dead for having at least as many inspired friendly fighters as the round numbers. Yeah, they need to be surviving it as well. So I score 1 from that. So if he scores 2 or more, he wins. I'm in the lead 11-10 at this point. But he scores all rise for having 2 friendly fighters with race counters. So sad, but the Headsmen'S Cursed proved to be the better side here. So yeah, hope you have enjoyed this battle report. It was a fun, evenly tied game. Could have gone either way, really. I think the Headsmen's are pretty strong, and I think this new deck for the Sepulchral God is really interesting and decent as well. The fighter cards are still pretty crap, though, in terms of survivability, but yeah, there you go. This is Mats again, chiming in to thank you for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment, and to not miss out on future content, ring the bell as well. And if you really liked this video, feel free to click the thanks button just below this video. And if you want to support me even further, you can now become a channel member and claim the title of Critical Focus Fan. Until next time, take care, bye.